G'day everyone, it's Deniz here from Inspired Growth Training, and we are here for the BDM Coach podcast show. And today I've got a very special guest all the way from Adelaide. Emma, lovely to have you here. Thanks for being here and taking time out of your busy schedule.
Glad to be here, no problem at all.
Now, Emma, there's people from all over the world that are listening in on our podcast. They need to know where Adelaide is. Where are you from? Where is Adelaide in the map?
South Australia. So, yeah, sort of towards the bottom in South Australia. But yeah, Adelaide is pretty small. But I think we were saying earlier today, it's about 20 minutes and you can get from one side to the other, pretty much.
You can. Yeah, we were
Yeah.
talking about that in the peak performance community earlier, and literally 20 minutes. I mean, you're in Adelaide and you say, oh, where's that? How far is it? Oh, 20 minutes. And then someone says, let's go somewhere else. Oh, how long's that? 20 minutes. You know, like
Yeah,
everything's 20 minutes. It's
yeah,
crazy.
pretty much.
And
Yeah.
you've got that famous, what's that bus that turns into a train?
Oh, the
The
O-Bahn.
the O-Bahn, like it
Yeah.
is, it's a bus, which is quite phenomenal. If you need to go to Adelaide, Adelaide's known for its wines, its glorious churches, the crazy murderers and killers of Australia, but it's also got the O-Bahn, right? It's a bus that it is on the busy roads, but it goes onto a like train track.
Pretty much, yeah. Like I think like the wheels come off and then I think it works. And yeah, then it goes like 100 and something. So it just pretty much bypasses all the traffic. So straight from sort of northeast into the city.
Yeah,
So
awesome. So
good.
it's
They recently extended it too, which was good. So yeah.
clearly people are using it, right? So it's working. So if you need to go to Adelaide, pop in and say hello to Emma, but make sure you go on the O-Bahn as well. So how long have you been in real estate, Emma?
Uh, Actually, 1 week from today will be 14 years.
Wow, 14 years, right?
Yeah.
So you came straight out of school?
Yeah, so it was left school well, halfway through year 11. So I was actually 17 when I started in real estate.
Wow.
So little baby.
Yeah. You still are a
Yeah.
little baby, okay? Don't
So,
kid yourself, okay?
yes, yes. No,
So
yeah, long time.
so your anniversary's coming up. So and what were you studying at school, right, to do? Were you studying? Were you at school going, I'm going to be a real estate agent?
No, funnily enough, I wanted to be a forensic scientist actually.
Okay.
Yeah, real different, I suppose.
It is.
Um, yeah, no, I perfectly honest, I had no intention of being in real estate. When I left school, I wanted to work full time. My sister was already working in real estate. She was admin, wanted to move into sales, so I took over her role.
Okay.
Mm.
Okay, forensic science. We need to have a discussion with Darren about that and see what script he can put in place for you, so you can feel at home and at peace with what you thought
Maybe.
you were going to do. I mean, that
Yeah,
could somehow work in well if you're a property manager, and you're trying to work out what is on the carpet, or what is that on the
yeah,
kitchen bench.
yeah. Let's love it. Investigating things, resolving matters, problem solving, and things like that. So
Yeah, yeah.
few similarities.
It ties in. So, with
Yeah,
your forensic background, is it tea or coffee?
coffee.
Of course, it's coffee, right? So, are you
Always
quite?
coffee.
Uh, what's your go-to coffee? Come on, like
Skim
what is
latte,
it?
no sugar,
Ah, okay, no sugar.
with an
There you
extra
go.
shot.
Extra shot. Now you're catching my
Always.
attention.
Yeah.
Well done. I actually had an espresso martini last night, and I said to the barman, make sure there's an extra shot in there for me, please. Because I like that
Yeah.
nice strong coffee taste to it, which is
Yeah.
it's cool. So okay, so you're at school. You didn't study to go into real estate. Obviously, your big sister was already in real estate,
Yeah.
so you thought, okay, I'll give that a crack. But what is it about real estate that caught your attention that you enjoyed? Because 17 years is quite a long time. That's longevity,
14.
right?
14
Okay,
years.
I gave you an
Almost
extra
there.
3 years.
Thanks. Feel like I've been in it for over 20, but yeah, honestly, yeah, like I said, I just kind of fell into it.
Mhm.
I think about 3 months in is when I moved into property management.
Yeah.
Way back when you didn't have to be licensed in SA. I think we were one of the last states to have to be licensed for property management. So, um, yeah, my previous company, I was actually out for about 3 years, working more north. Um, for everyone, that north is the Bronx. It's very low economical area. Or look, it's come good, but yeah, there was a lot of stress at that
Okay,
point.
give us an example of the Bronx because, like, are we talking about Elizabeth?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and Davern Park and stuff. I still remember my first ever private viewing. I was 17, maybe 18 by that point,
Hmm.
and yeah, just very you know, frightening people were living around that area, and yeah, I had to actually go inside and lock myself inside. We had code words in case we were in dangerous situations, and yeah, it was a whole different world.
Okay.
So I kind of experienced a lot more in my first 3 years than some do in 20 years. So
Yeah. Yeah. But so I
yeah,
mean, 14 years on, so back then that was classed as one of the most low socio areas of Australia. Even even
yeah,
a movie has been made in the area around that as well. But you're saying that it's getting better. So the higher
yeah,
rents it's pushed people out. Is that what's happened as well?
yeah, yeah. So because I mean, we cover all of Metro Adelaide. We're primarily northeast.
Yeah, yeah,
And we cover sort of north as well. And we've found a lot of people are moving further and further north because of, crazy increase in rents and sale
yeah.
prices
Okay.
and everything at the moment. So plus there's been a lot of development, a lot of, freeways, expressways and everything gone up probably, over the last 5, 10 years. So now it nearly takes as long to get to the city from northeast suburbs as it does from far north because you've got that expressway.
And that's that
Um,
joke about that 20 minutes, right? So, and look, that's a
it
really
is
good
now, yeah.
information. Yeah, it's really good information you've given there for investors to listen to. And I'll dig into that a little bit later because that's your call now. But let's
Mm.
go back to 14 years ago when you first started. You were scared, right? But you obviously you love real estate. So you've really faced head on some of the dangers, having passwords or code words and stuff like that, locking yourself in the house when you're doing inspections, which is understandable. But what is it about real estate that's kept you in the game so long? What do you love about it? Is it the danger?
Um, yeah, sure. um, get, I think I've been asked this a few times. Just no day is the same. I have ADHD, so I work well under pressure, and every day is full of pressure. It's just a very go, go, go industry, and you know, problem solving, like I said earlier, and that's something I enjoy and thrive on.
Great.
And yeah, just making people happy and yeah,
That's
it's
good.
good fun. There's stressful days, but most of the time it's yeah, it's good. It's enjoyable. It's yeah, like I said, very go go go,
Okay,
full
so what's
action.
your role now? Like you clearly you've done assistant, you've done PM, and what are you now? What's your position now?
Yeah, so I've done everything, including sales. But yeah, so been transitioning realistically over the last few years, and officially now the sole BDM within the agency.
Okay,
Um,
and what
so
is it
yeah,
that you love about being the BDM? Like, what's the thing that you love about being a BDM?
again, always it's a lot of pressure, obviously, to win the business, get the business, and be responsible. Like I'm the only BDM in the company, so I'm purely responsible for building that business.
Yep.
And yeah, I guess I just thrive off that. When we get it done, and just pushing myself to and get better every time. Yeah, I do enjoy the fast pace and the pressure to succeed, I suppose.
Yeah,
Which not many
that's really
people
good.
would. They were like, oh, it's too much, but I like it. So
Yeah. I mean, look, BDM is sales, right? So you mentioned you've
Mm,
done sales, and it
yeah.
is go. You've got to have that hustle. Otherwise,
Mm,
your numbers do drop off. Now, you can get distracted very easily as a BDM. So obviously, you've been working with Smith Partners for quite a long time now. So you've
coming up 11
seen the
years, yeah.
growth, the business changes that's occurred, which has been phenomenal, and it's been really good. And it's been exciting from a trainer's point of view of seeing all of those great changes as well. Now, distractions can slow your growth down. One of the
Sure thing.
key questions that people ask me, I get asked all the time, Deniz, how many properties should I list? How many properties should a BDM list? And one of the answers that I give back, well, that's indicative of what tasks you've got added to your life as a BDM. Because if you're a pure BDM and your job is just hunting and collecting, those numbers are different compared to a BDM that gets dragged into different parts of the business or has to do different things. Now, earlier we were talking about three key distractions that stop you from listing properties, like growing the rent roll. Because, Emma, you're employed to grow the business. It's a big responsibility for a BDM, but you're taking the bull by the horns, should we say, and you're doing a really good job. How many properties have you listed this month so far?
12 so far.
That's awesome. So well done for that. And part way through last year, I used to get phone calls from you because you're being dragged out of your business. I'm going, why this isn't completed? Or what's going on? How can I help? And we went through some of the stuff. But now, one of the hardest things for a BDM is your job is to go out there and connect with people, and you do that. But then you've got to come back to the office once you've signed that authorization form and all of the work that you've got to do to prepare that property for rent before you can collect income for them. That was one of the big struggles for you.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, obviously, different, varies from property to property. But yeah, especially when majority of my landlords are interstate, we've got to do everything from start to finish. And yeah, some require major renovations. We do all project managing and things like that for properties like that. So yeah, it does chew up a lot of time just getting a property ready.
Yeah. So, what are some other examples? Obviously, maintenance. You mentioned, obviously there's renovations that are involved, and I'm hoping you're charging a particular fee for these extra works because this is all outside of the management of the property, right?
Yeah. Yeah, so we've got our outside of normal duties fee,
Perfect.
which covers things like, tribunal attendance, but then overseeing renovations of the property. So depending on the extent, if it's just organising compliance and a clean and gardening, that's pretty standard. That doesn't chew
Yeah.
up a huge amount of time, but we've had plenty where we're updating kitchens, flooring, painting, coordinating multiple trades. And yeah, when there's so much, there's a fair few trades
Okay, it's great.
to
Yeah,
coordinate.
and I get that, but it's great that you're earning extra income for the business. But all of those things are taking you away from getting on that phone, making phone calls, booking one-on-ones, and so forth. So, what is the office? What have you all put in place that allows you to get back to being a BDM?
Yeah, well, I guess for the reno side of things, one, we've got a really great trade that can basically do everything from start to finish now,
Yep.
including compliance, which is great. So rather than, having to contact 5, 6, 7 trades, we just contact one. We know who's reliable. Yeah, and they cover all of the areas that we cover, which is great. So it's not chasing up people and you've only got one trade to chase up and coordinate with rather than 6 or 7. And as well as bringing on a junior or associate property manager within the office that will be able to help with all of those time consuming tasks that bog you down. So that frees up a lot of time as well.
That's really good because, ultimately your job is getting new business on, but when you're getting the new business, you don't want to be tied down. And that doesn't mean just throw it to the property managers because they've got a lot of work to do as well, you
Yeah.
know. And property managers, they don't like you if you keep giving them extra work to do. So having that tradesperson that you've got, so they're a specialised tradesperson that you obviously they're, you know, you've already done all your background checks on them for insurance and all of that, but they're a
Absolutely.
tradesperson that can do multiple things. So
Yeah.
it's one person going out versus ordering 4 or 5 people, which is brilliant. You know, that's
Yeah.
really good.
Correct.
And
Yeah.
and how do you sell that to the owners? Like obviously, you know, with you know, that's less people coming into the property. We've got one expert.
Yeah, I suppose, well, one, turnaround time. It's not trying to coordinate multiple trades. In saying that, we always have a lockbox at the property. But also, you get 5 trades, that's 5 call outs. So you're already
Yeah,
saving money without anything else. So, yeah,
5 invoices, 5 payments to chase, five. You know,
yeah,
yeah. Okay, I
yeah.
totally get that. So, what are some of the other things that took you away? So it's great that that's freed you up, so you can sign and then move on. I'm sure that there's still a little bit of backwards and forwards that you'd have to be involved with. But what are some other things that took you away from being a BDM?
So up until recently, I was still doing, I suppose, quite a bit. Apart from obviously, being dragged back into the other day to day, I was still responsible for all leasing, including relets, as well as lease renewals, which that in itself is, with the amount of properties depending on that was taking up a huge chunk of my time, especially lease renewals with all the increases lately. It's not just a quick, it's never quick, but way more negotiations, a lot of time chewed up. So, we've recently worked in with the property managers, and they're taking over their own relet renewals, all of that from now. So that's freed up a huge chunk. Whilst I'm still doing leasing for new management, huge change, a lot more time freed up to focus on the BDM side.
Yeah, that's brilliant. I mean, look, we all know how much time it can take for leasing a property. On average, from sign up to, the rent coming into the property, that it can be, 15 hours of work, right? That's involved. So if you're doing that just for the new business and then you're doing the relets and so forth, that is quite crazy. So it's brilliant. So
Yeah.
now you've got a specific person that has come in and they're freeing you up. I don't
Uh-huh.
mind the BDM still doing leasing because it puts accountability on you in setting the right price, right? As your
Yeah.
numbers increase even more, then that's the next thing that can get taken away. But I still think it's
Mm.
important that the BDM should be overseeing the leasing.
Yeah, and I get a lot of leads as well just from being out and about at opens.
Great.
I've got a little referral QR code. I play music, have lollipops. I do a whole thing for my opens as well. Signboards, all of that being out and out there. My properties online and days on market, all of that being visible. That's then why people are calling me as
Yeah,
well, because they can see those results. They can see me out there and visible. So yeah,
great.
I get a fair bit from that too.
I
So
love it. I love it. I think that's really good. So that's when you do get someone taking over your leasing as well, you know what to educate them on, identifying the leasing, the potential landlords and stuff. So that's really good.
yeah.
So congrats on that. So it's good that you've been freed up from that. So you've taken some of the tasks away. So another thing? What's a third thing that that takes you away? What about when staff are sick, or someone goes
Yeah.
on leave, or someone leaves the office? They've left the industry altogether, right? It happens
Yeah,
everywhere. So don't you then get dragged into starting to manage properties?
I did. I did. But now with bringing on, I suppose, the associate property manager, they'll be trained up. They're getting trained up in that to then be the backup rather than me be the back.
Awesome.
So ideally now, moving forward, I won't get dragged back in at all. We've also, we've got a brilliant operations manager that we've recently brought on as well that
Yep.
is working towards keeping everyone in their lane and making sure that is all running smoothly. So overall things just running a lot better, a lot more efficient, and everyone's sticking to their main roles too. So that
That's
freed up my
awesome.
time again.
Yeah, that's brilliant. So I'm sure that you're not going to mind me saying this. We would be doing some coaching, or whether it was one on one or in the mastermind, and we would have discussions, about, you know, you being dragged back into these areas. We've just covered 3 areas of why you're getting dragged back in. My job as your coach is like, no, you've got to stop helping them, because your boss, they don't know what to fix if you keep going in, right? And then
Yeah.
that's no discredit to you at all when I'm saying that. It's actually, it helps the business. So when you
Yeah.
just mentioned your new, the new GM that's working with you, I love that you said he's making sure people stay in their lanes.
Mainly me. It was very, Emma, don't touch it. So anything that comes through, if the landlord contacts me, I'll just go, yep, thanks for that. I've CC'd in your property manager, and just keep pushing it back. Sort of, I used to be one to get suckered in and go, I'll just do it. No.
Yeah, and there's a negative tone to that as well. It can actually drag your day down, because as the BDM, our job is to go out there and be positive, be on the go, have the hustle, and keep chasing. Whereas in the back of your mind, you would say to me, Dennis, I'm losing confidence because I'm getting these calls from an owner that's disgruntled. So what do you do now? Can you just repeat those steps? Because I think it's brilliant, right?
Yeah, so I suppose depending on the severity of if there's an issue and things like that, if it's just a lot of the time, because the owners have, trust in me and things like that, they'll just contact me. So
You've
if it's,
signed them up.
just an
Like
upfront
you
thing,
promised
yeah.
them the world, right? So I don't blame them. And
Yeah. So if they reach out to me, I'll just go, yep, no worries. Like, just a reminder, your property manager is so and so. I pass this on to them, they'll be in touch. Or if it is a complaint, I used to always unfortunately have to deal with those. And yes,
yeah,
that does affect the confidence and your mood overall. So that pretty much just goes straight to the operations manager, and he's dealing with everything now. Which is not only a time, freeing up the time, but just, improving my overall, confidence and mood and things like that too. But further to that, just to prevent, I suppose, landlords, because I've signed them up once it's leased, we didn't really have the best handover process, I guess, in place. So we've implemented that now, and there's a full handover, introduction, everything being put in place now. So they know who their property manager is, and so once the property is leased, they are well aware of who to contact moving forward. So that's only recent, and that's already reduced it
I love it. So
by a
that's
lot.
speeding up the
So
process of you also letting go, and it's handing
yeah,
over the responsibility to the team. So then they know.
correct.
So you're getting less like taps on the shoulder from people that you've signed up,
Yeah,
because you signed them up, and what's happening is the tenant, you know, how'd the first routine go, or I haven't heard from my property manager, or whatever. That takes that
yeah,
away.
yeah, yeah.
Brilliant.
So far, I think since we implemented it, I maybe have got one, maybe two calls, if that.
I love it. I love
Or
it.
if anything, they contact the property manager and just CC me in,
Yeah. Yeah.
which is fine. I'm like, yep, cool. I know they're on top of it. But yeah, it's not the constant Emma, Emma, Emma. They know who to contact now moving
So,
forward, which,
so
yeah,
from a BDM's point of view, how does that make you feel now that you're okay? Let's just cover the 3 things. So you're always preparing these properties for rent. So now that you've got someone in place that's jumping on, they're doing that for you and they're helping. You're not doing the relets. You're not doing the leasing. It's which is
as
quite
much.
time consuming as well. Staff are on leave. You've got a floater staff that's around. So things that can be in order. And because you've got a really good onboarding process in place where you're onboarding the landlord, so many agents don't onboard landlords correctly. They fill in the form, and the owners are like, okay, what happens next? So how is that making you feel now that you've got those 4 things in place?
Oh gosh, just a lot less stress, less burnout and whatnot, as we know we all get trying to, wear too many hats.
Yep.
Yeah, confidence levels are way up. I don't, I got to a point where I was dreading having to make calls or dreading having to follow up leads because just all of that. So, yeah, it's just, you know, pretty much confidence is just way up. I feel like I've actually got the time to do my follow-ups and
Brilliant.
spend more time with the clients to nurture them and And yeah, it's also cleared up because I'm really, one of my favorite, I guess, ways to generate leads is in investor support. Without getting dragged back in, I always really loved that. So and got a lot of good feedback from it. So just building up that rapport again with my buyer's agents and being able to connect with people a bit more it's been great. It's been a bit of a relief to put it bluntly. Yeah.
I love it. You can tell the confidence in your voice, and when you're, in the peak performance community, or even, in our masterminds, you can see you're not just turning up anymore just for the sake, oh, Deniz tells me I've got to turn up, or I've got to do this because the boss has signed me up. You're actually turning up, giving tips, helping, wanting to jump in.
Yeah.
And I was really excited. You converted a couple of private landlords this month as well, self-managed owners.
Yeah, and not
Which is
ones that
awesome.
I've chased. They've come to us, which is great because, then straight away why they need a property manager. And
Yeah.
yeah, so really, really good results this month. Like, as I said, I listed 12 and that's pretty much, double. I've been, doubling what I was before. Just having that extra time makes
I
a
love
huge
it.
difference.
So 4 things that have been put in place that have helped you double the numbers for you, and we are very early in the year as well. So that's really exciting. So
Yeah.
I'm definitely looking forward to it. And one of my questions was going to be, what's your favourite strategy? You've jumped in, you've said it, investor support service, and
Yeah.
obviously, for those of you that don't know, it is a system that I had developed back in 2010-11 as a BDM myself, and now coaching people around the world to do it. And we do cover this in BDM Coach Mastermind and the Top Growth Mastermind. But it's about focusing and building those pipelines and funnels with those investors that haven't purchased a property yet. Most BDMs or property managers, when they're out there and they want to list properties, they only want to deal with the action now. Someone's calling, we go list it. They don't want to deal with someone who hasn't purchased a property yet.
Yeah.
Which, once you get that pipeline going, those leads, you don't get business straight away, but after 3 months, 4 months, sometimes even longer, depending on your area, sometimes less too,
Yeah.
those people eventually buy a property. And then while you're working on the people for the 6 months time, the 6 months ago, the flow comes through. It just cycles, and it's a great funnel to be working with. When
Yeah.
someone wants to
Absolutely.
sell a house, they're dealing with potential buyers. They could be dealing with them for months. That's what investor support service is.
Yeah.
So well done. I love that you enjoy it. It's definitely a really good conversation to have. Let's go back to what you said. You're talking about highways, freeways, this, that, and the other. Property managers don't talk in that lingo when they're trying to. Yes, there are. I'm generalizing here, but most property managers are like, this is what we do. Sign up here. This is what we charge. But
Yeah.
you're giving expert advice about freeways, highways, hospitals, and stuff like that. It's a different conversation.
Yeah, yeah. And I mean, I guess my background in sales helps on that side of things as well. But yeah, I mean, if you know your areas and you actually do the research,
Yeah.
that's where, yeah, it's more value just being provided to those investors as well. And more knowledge, and the more knowledge we give them, the better properties they're going to buy as well. We can almost have a say in the kind of properties that they buy,
Yeah.
which works out
Yeah.
well for us too.
Yeah. I love it. So, going back 14 years, knowing what you know now, what would you say to yourself turning up to work for the first time?
Oh gosh.
Oh, Dennis, you didn't tell me you were going to ask this question.
You didn't. No, honestly, yeah. Look, 14 years ago, I'd have no idea I'd be here. It was just a job when I was 17. To be honest, I fell in love with that property management side pretty quickly, though. Yeah, what did I tell myself? Just keep pushing. It gets better. Keep working your way up. Yeah, I don't know.
Strive to. I mean, that's the thing about real estate. There's always another job within the industry that you can strive to
Mm.
get to. You know.
Oh, absolutely. And that's what I love about, I guess, here at Smith Partners. We hire with the intent that people want to move up and up and up.
Yeah.
So, I mean, when I moved over here, I went back to admin. went back to admin. So then went into sales and back into property management again and just keep working my way up. So yeah, it's always good to progress and keep learning realistically. You never stop learning. You never know everything.
Yeah,
So,
continued learning is certainly really important. So, what advice would you give to people? We've just done a 2-day event. You've attended, I think, nearly all of our 2-day events that we've ever done. I think the first time we met was it Gold Coast when I did the BDM 2-day event?
Yes,
Was it
the lead machine one.
Yeah,
I think.
yeah, it was.
I booked it like a week prior. I wasn't meant to be going. I was like, oh.
It was that horrible COVID thing that had occurred. It was like the first 2-day thing that we could do.
Yeah, it was right out of that. Yeah.
Yeah, so, you've attended a 2-day event. I've tapped you on the shoulder and said, listen, I'm going to get a coffee. I don't want to close the event out. Can you give them a 1-minute spiel and encourage them? What would you say?
Oh, gosh, now you put me on the spot.
So they've just spent 2 days learning, right? Going through it all. They've listened to myself, Darren, Michael, and whoever else we've had speaking. What would you tell them now that they're about to go home?
Don't procrastinate. Don't just, write all these notes and have all this information and don't use it. And I'll be honest, I'm a culprit. You forget, you get back, you get, wrapped into the hustle and bustle of the daily PM, as we know is hectic. Set the time aside to focus on the things that are going to benefit you and benefit the business as well. So that's been probably actually the only recent one where I've actually had the time, the 2-day event, I've actually been implementing stuff. And honestly, even an hour a day just put aside to plan and do that, it makes all the difference. So don't just let it come in one ear, one out the other. You got to sit down and actually implement it, and then that's when you'll see the results realistically.
Yeah, I love it. I mean, you're talking about the 2-day event that we did in Sydney. That was the lead machine event, which was it was great. It was
that was even more last minute. I think that was the day before.
I think it was.
It was in that morning. I went straight from the airport to the venue. So
you got there on time. You got there on time. It was okay.
I did.
It was good.
I did.
Yeah. So basically, you're saying, I like what you're saying. Do what's going to work for you. Don't procrastinate, but put it in place because you can get busy going back to the office.
Yeah, and absolutely. And don't try and do everything at once, because that's my other thing. I'm like, oh, so many good ideas, and I try and do everything. So just pick the ones that stand out most to you and put your focus on those. If then once they're done, you want to move on to the next great idea, then do it that way. But
love it.
Pulling yourself in too many directions, you get nowhere. I know from experience.
Yeah, well said. That's great. Look, Emma, I really appreciate you taking your time out of your day because I'm now one of those distractions, and I don't want to be added to the list of why you can't get out there and get some calls.
Why didn't you call that person? Deniz took me away from my job again.
Why didn't you list properties today? It was Deniz.
Well, Deniz, it's all right. I got 2 overnight, so we're doing all right today.
Yeah, awesome. I appreciate your time. Where is the best spot for people to be able to reach out to you? No doubt we're going to be sharing this on social media and we'll tag you with it as well. Where and how can people reach out to you?
Oh, I mean, there's always phone and mobile, mobile and email. But I'm pretty active also with my business posts and things on Instagram. So invest with Emma_Adelaide.
I love it. Invest with Emma_Adelaide. Emma, thank you so much for your time. I'm looking forward to coming back down to Adelaide so I can hook into some good Adelaide coffee as well.
Yes.
Emma, thank you. This is Deniz from Inspired Growth Training, the BDM Coach Podcast Show. Talk to you all soon.